What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews, and in today's video, I'm going to take you through the 4 picks that I've got down today. We've got some action on the NBA, 2 picks on the WNBA as well. That sounds interesting. Let's go.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to you live from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice and the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.
Before we jump into the picks, I just want to answer something. I saw a few comments in the last video, people saying, you're talking too much. There's too much rambling. I don't understand what you're saying. I don't get the insights, and I get it. Not the best content I've ever made. That was purely me researching the slate for the first time and sharing my thoughts. And I know some of you absolutely love the deep dives, and some of you get very confused by it because it's too complicated. So I'm going to try to do my best to share the picks that I have and then do a deep dive as well. But if you're dependent on my picks, there's going to be times where I don't have them ready, unfortunately, given the time difference that we're in. And I work late into the evening to get all this done. Sometimes I'm not going to have picks ready in time. So I'll do my absolute best, but let's get through the picks, and then I'll do a bit of a deep dive, take you through some of my thoughts in the games anyway. So we're jumping into Props Madness, the best tool you're going to find if you like betting on NBA player props or WNBA player props. Keeps you busy all year round. Encourage you to check this out. 7-day trial, plus you get a juicy discount when you use the code DAFT when you sign up. Also, I do rely heavily on projections. I need to know how many minutes a player is going to play. It does help me out a lot. If you're interested, I get my projections all from RotoWire. I'll leave a link in the video description for that as well. You can use the code DAFT. You also get a juicy discount there. Now let's talk about it. I want to do the NBA first. That's what I'm most excited to watch. Actually, the WNBA games are so early, I'm not even going to be up in time to watch them. So the NBA is where I'll be spending a lot more of my time. But let's talk about this game. We've got game 2 of the NBA Finals. Indiana Pacers get the upset in game 1. Ton of turnovers from Indiana, but the OKC Thunder offense sucked. So before we jump into the picks and the way that I guess I like to make my picks these days is thinking about the context of the game. How do we really think this goes? And I think there's, the opportunity here that OKC absolutely buries the Pacers, pounds them into the core of the earth. There's a real possibility there, which is why I'm not going to be betting on too many Pacers overs as much as I want to, but I'll explain that more in the deep dive anyway. I'll get through my picks and then we can bounce. Let's talk about the first one. Rolling with Tyrese Halliburton. Now, I bet this in the game 1. I bet he's under 27.5 points and assists. We now catch a line at 25.5, and I'm still taking the under. Rolling with the Tyrese Halliburton fade here, under 25.5 points and assists for me. And the thought process here is that this is just a disgustingly awful matchup for Tyrese Halliburton. There's no other way to say it. I'm surprised that Indiana managed to get the win with Tyrese Halliburton having such a slow night. And I think he will continue to have slow nights, just like he just did in most games in this series. The pure reason is that this matchup is not right for Tyrese Halliburton. He can't beat the guys he's offending one-on-one. He can't hunt the mismatches he wants to on screens because, I don't know if you noticed, but someone like Lou Dort, Cason Wallace, Alex Caruso, they're almost impossible to set a screen on. They're just going over and over all these screens. It's really great to watch. And I just don't think this is a series for Tyrese Halliburton. Amazing he hit the game winner. But in terms of his overall production, I don't think he has enough in him to cover his points and his assist line to cover the 25.5 that I'm taking the under on here. He might get hot, might score some points, which means I don't think he's going to dime up, and the vice versa of that. He may not score a lot of points, might get a lot of assists. But that's why I'm playing both of these together. I wouldn't encourage anyone to play like singular points or singular assist unders because I don't know which one is the best one to take. In my mind, it's just these two together seem like an impossible task for Tyrese Halliburton. So, yeah, I'm taking the under here, 25.5 points and assists. It's purely matchup based. We've seen Andrew Nembhard pick up more of the ball handling and playmaking responsibilities. So, and I think we continue to see that. I don't think he's going to see the volume. I don't think he'll get the efficiency. He was somewhat efficient in game 1, 6 for 13. A lot of these being 3-pointers, shot 46% from the field. I just don't think he can be able to deliver to get this 25.5 on the road in a potential blowout spot with OKC. They're going to be fired up. If you just think back to the last series OKC had against Denver, Denver beat them in game 1, and then they absolutely smashed them in game 2. I think 43-point blowout. I'm not saying that happens here. I think this Pacers team's a little bit more resilient than that Denver Nuggets squad. But, yeah, 25.5, I think it's a little bit too high, and I'm still taking the unders there for Tyrese Halliburton. The next pick that I'm taking in this game, I'm taking the Dortcher Chamber. Where's my man Lou? Taking Lou Dort. And I'm taking his over 3-pointers, over 2.5 3-pointers made. I got this for plus money. You can still get this from plus money from many books. Just go ahead and make sure you do some line shopping. Now, the thought process here on Lou Dort, it's because, one, this matchup for Lou Dort is absolutely brilliant. He normally gets a Siakam and Obi Toppin, like he's getting bigger guys defending him. Therefore, whenever SGA drives the ball, they leave Lou Dort wide open. It's astonishing to see. Despite him making 3 after 3 after 3 in that last game, they still left him open. They're just daring him to shoot. So Lou Dort, head-to-head against the Pacers this season's killed them. 4.7 3-pointers made per game in 3 games, 3, 6, and 5. The volume's great. 8 attempts, 7 attempts, 9 attempts. And the other thing I love about this play is that Lou Dort's playing at home. Now, at home this season, he's been an absolute beast. Let me show you. At home, he's averaging 3.1 makes per game compared to on the road, which drops down to 1.7. So at home, being left open the way that he is, I'm riding with Lou Dort. I know that he just hit 5. Will Indiana make adjustments to slow him down? Probably not. Like, they got to deal with SGA. They got to shut down Jalen Williams. They got to shut down Chet Holmgren. I don't think there's going to be too much game planning here against Lou Dort. If you're not leaving Lou Dort wide open, it means you're leaving SGA to drive one-on-one the whole time, and you're not sending help. So I think Lou Dort will continue to see good looks here, and I think being at home, he's going to be able to cash these. Great odds at plus money, rolling with Lou Dort. So we'll come back to the NBA. Let me just take you through these WNBA picks, and then we can start deep diving. I'll tell you a little bit more about the NBA stuff. There's a couple of other things I have in my mind which I could consider playing. I just haven't put the bets down just yet. But I've got one bet in each of these games. We've got Connecticut versus the Mystics, and then the Lynx versus the Wings. Firstly, on the W, rolling with this girl, Kiki Irefin. Now, she's one of my favorite players in the WNBA this season. I said it probably not in the last video, but in one of the more recent videos, she's really just like Angel Reese without the terrible social media attention with coordination. She is absolutely brilliant to watch. If you haven't watched a WNBA game yet, Kiki Irefin and the Washington Mystics are a great team to watch. Now, she's covered this line in 6 out of 9 games this season, averaging almost 15 points per game. She's scoring at a relatively consistent rate. Now, over the last 4 to 5 games, her minutes have dropped off, and that's because the Mystics are at full strength with Shakira Austins and Aaliyah Edwards coming off the bench. So she's not logging heavy minutes, but damn, she is efficient as hell when she's on there. Kiki Irefin can score in a variety of ways, and it's great as a rookie. She can score in the pick and roll, can score in the spot-up shooting, score in the post, gets out in transition, put back points. She can kind of do it all. She's not limited to one type of scoring profile, which makes her a very difficult cover. She can run into foul trouble, but up against the Connecticut Sun, I don't think she's going to run into foul trouble against them. She scored 17 points against them. This was her second game in the WNBA. She was 7 from 10 the last time they met. Extremely efficient, got to the free throw line only 4 times. I think we see more of that. I think we see a ton of free throws here. The Connecticut Sun, they foul at the second highest rate. They allow the second most points in the restricted area. And as you can see here, Kiki Irefin absolutely lives there. So I'm taking the over 12.5 points. I'd play this at 13.5 as well. Just make sure you line shop to get the best odds possible. In the next game, we've got the Minnesota Lynx versus the Dallas Wings. I'm taking somebody who broke my heart not too long ago, is Alana Smith. Over 9.5 points for Alana Smith. She is Australian, just like me. And I know what you're going to say. We look alike. I get it. Us Australians, we all look the same. That's a joke. Alana Smith, though. Over this line in 5 out of 7 games, averaging 11.6 points per game this season. I've bet on Alana Smith once this season, and you can all obviously guess which game it was. It was this game right here where she took one shot, scored 0 points in 26 minutes, and I still don't understand how and why that happened. But for the most part this season, she's been excellent. She's not afraid to shoot the ball. She's been extremely efficient, working real hard as well. So she's got a terrific matchup here against the Dallas Wings. The Dallas Wings are just terrible defensively all the way around, but they allow the most points to spot up shooting out of all the teams on this Minnesota Lynx roster, out of all the players, sorry. Alana Smith is the person they're going to leave open if they have to leave someone open. Alana Smith hasn't been afraid to shoot it this year. So like her chances to make some 3-pointers. She gets out in transition. She can score that way as well. Dallas Wings dead last in spot-up shooting and transition defense, which is 70% of Alana Smith's play type. So loving the matchup here for Alana Smith. She's projected to play 26 to 29 minutes too, which is nice and healthy. I think the Minnesota Lynx get it done, and they get it done by committee. Not saying one player absolutely kills it. I think they get a lot of people getting some buckets here in this Dallas Wings team. Alana Smith for 10 points. That's what I'm rolling with here. All right, so let's talk about the NBA. I'm not going to deep dive this WNBA too heavily. The NBA is really what's on my mind right now, and it's the game I'm going to be watching. So let's answer some of the questions you might be thinking about. What about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander? I bet on SGA in the last game. I bet he's over in PRA. We got hooked. Thank you, Shea. But his points line extremely high. 34.5 points is crazy. But I can see why. They've got Nemhard defending him. He's got a considerable size advantage on Nemhard. He's got a great history of scoring against Nemhard as well. 34.5 is too high for me to play because all it takes is one thing to go wrong, and that play could be bust, whether it be Jalen Williams having a big quarter, SGA finding foul trouble, SGA having a bad quarter. Once one of those happens, that could just absolutely bury the bet. So no bet on his points prop, but the assist prop is something that I am considering. Not gonna lie, it is quite high though, 7.5 on a lot of books. This was at 6.5 and it's been moved up, and it's crazy because he only had 3 assists and 11 potentials. Why has that assist line moved up? And I think everybody kind of saw the same thing. There are a lot of opportunities for SGA to pass the ball in that last game, and he didn't. He was, he was a bit of a hog in the last game, a bit of a hero. What do you take? 30 shot attempts in that last game to score 38 points. Still somewhat efficient, don't get me wrong, but there are a lot of opportunities for others to score. And it's part of the reason why the OKC Thunder offense sucked is SGA was hogging it a bit too much. And I think he needs to move the ball around. 7.5, it's a little bit too high, but it's something that I'm still considering. And it's partly the reason why I don't want to take the over on the points props either. So if you wanted to know about my SGA thoughts, that's that. I think someone who could have a sneaky big game here is Chet Holmgren. And I'm thinking Chet Holmgren purely because of how bad he was in that last game. He had 6 points, 2 from 9. His game was as disgusting as his fake-ass beard. I just think there could be a real bounce-back spot here for Chet. It was the worst game he's played in the playoffs this year. It's an obvious bounce-back spot. Does he bounce back well enough to cover this? The other thought process is on his rebounds. His rebound line is at 8.5. Now, this rebound line for Chet was at 9.5 in the last game. He only finished with 6 boards from 11 chances. But the Pacers had a lot of turnovers, which means they weren't shooting as much. That's less opportunity. When the Pacers cut down the turnovers, they started shooting at a higher rate in the second half. Percentages went up, which meant he didn't see many rebound chances either. He also only played 24 minutes because he was somewhat ineffective. I think if we see Chet play better today, he's going to log more minutes, he's going to see more opportunities. So I'm thinking points plus rebounds, just the rebounds, maybe the points, a combination of those. I think it could be a sneaky bounce back spot for Chet. It's not a bet that I would normally take, given my recent history, because I'm all conservative and shit right now. But fuck that. You got to back yourself sometimes. You got to have some confidence. And I really do think it could be a good bounce back spot for Chet. And this could correlate well with SGA potentially not scoring as many points, because OKC aren't going to win the chip with SGA scoring 35 to 40 points a game. It's not going to happen. I think they need to get the other players involved, and Chet, definitely someone who could be bouncing back here. What else is there? Isaiah Hartenstein. I think he could be due for a nice game. I did think he'd have a good game in the first one. He covered his points and his rebounds prop. We've seen slight movement in the line, 7.5 and points, 7.5 rebounds as well. The problem is I don't know what the rotation is going to look like for OKC, because they're very hesitant to play Hartenstein and Chet at the same time in this series. And I get it. It makes sense. So how many minutes is there for Isaiah Hartenstein? Like, that's the only thing that's not clear in my mind. He played 17 minutes in the last game, which is not very much at all. He's only been playing 17 for the last few. So, and I think based on that last game, he had 9 rebounds from 12 chances in 17 minutes. Like, if you look at the other games where he's played less than 20 minutes, he hasn't been great. Like 6.8 points, 6.7 rebounds. I feel like it was a bit of an outlier performance in game 1. So, yeah, that's my hesitation with Hartenstein. He probably doesn't see the minutes that he should. My other thought process here is I want to take an under on Cason Wallace. I actually love his under in his rebounds, under 3.5 boards, but that's now heavily juiced. So I've added it to a parlay. I like the under in his rebounds. He doesn't hit it very much in the playoffs. But looking at the whole under here for Cason Wallace, to be honest, like, you can look at his under in his PRA. And I'm thinking the under here for Cason Wallace, because he played like 32 minutes. Let me check. 33 minutes in the last game, in game 1, right? In that game, he scores 5 points. He gets 2 rebounds. He had the worst net rating out of everybody on OKC. Alex Caruso also had some foul trouble. So Casey Wallace probably got an extra couple of minutes. Had Alex Caruso not been so handsy, he probably doesn't see as many minutes and see as many opportunities. When he's on the court, he's pressing Halliburton's ass, so he's not going to be in a position to get some rebounds anyway. SGA's been a damn hog, so he's not getting as many shots. But I do think Chet, J-Dub, they probably see more volume in this game. I just don't think it's the right game for Casey Wallace to produce when it comes to stats, right? Points and rebounds. So, yeah, there's a potential bounce back spot, but yeah, is there really? He's not a very high volume guy. So, Casey Wallace, looking at an under for him of some sorts. I don't know what it's going to be, but that's where my mind goes. I don't think he sees as much time as he did in the first game. Then we go to the Indiana Pacers, and man, it's so easy to fall into a trap of betting an over on somebody on this Pacers team because of how crazy game one was. Like Siakam rebounds. I think most of them are rebounds, really. Take a look. Siakam had 10 rebounds, and a lot of people were betting on over Pascal Siakam rebounds because head-to-head with them, he's rebounded very well against OKC all year. Everyone knows OKC is not a great rebounding team. So Siakam smashed his rebound line, finished with 10 boards. All right, that I guess makes sense. I could run that back. His line's at 7.5 now. But let me get through all these players, and then I'll explain to you why this is risky as fuck. Tyrese Halliburton rebounds. Check this out. He had 10 rebounds in that first game as well. 13 rebound chances. He had 10 boards. That was his only strong rebounding game against OKC. Miles Turner, he smashed his rebounds. He had 9 boards in the last game. His line's only at 5.5. In head-to-heads, he's had 11 in 33 minutes, 5 in only 20 minutes. That was a blowout loss. And then 9 rebounds in the 28 minutes in game one. And then we had our Naismith. Check out this guy's rebounds. 12 rebounds in game one. His line's at 5.5 at plus money, 4.5 if you like a little bit of juice. In head-to-head matchups, he had 4 in this game where he played 22 minutes, had 12 in that most recent game where he had 31. So, like, what I'm saying here is that there's a lot of strong rebounding numbers from every single person from this Pacers roster. Like, almost every single player who plays considerable minutes covered their rebound line. Even this. Unbelievable. Like, almost every single player covered. Oh, TJ McConnell didn't. But you get what I'm saying. Almost every single one of these Pacers covered their rebounds line in game one. And a lot of people could be easily trapped into thinking that this rebound spot is a nice one because they did so well in game one. Like OKC shot 39% from the field. They were dominated. I think they lost by like 19 rebounds. Like the Pacers had 19 extra rebounds on top of OKC. And if you think about the game script in mind, out of the Indiana Pacers and the OKC Thunder, which team do you think is going to play better in this one? Like, isn't it obvious that OKC is probably going to play a lot better, which makes me assume the Pacers players aren't going to produce the same way that they did in game one. Well, not all of them, but I think most of them. So when I was thinking it through, I was like, which one of these guys can we really rely on to get these boards? I think Nembhard could be a sneaky one. Like Nembhard's not defending SGA the way a lot of people anticipated. That is Nembhard, so that's the wrong player. Naismith. So his rebound line, 5.5 plus money, 12 boards, 19 rebound chances in the last game. Even if we cut his rebound chances in half and you give him 9 rebound chances, yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I don't know how I'm going to play it. I like the idea of attacking the unders. Miles Turner could be on as well. Like, is a starting center. He's going to be out there for 28 to 30 minutes. He had 15 rebound chances. Line's at only 5.5. You know, it's pretty low. And we've got some sample size here against OKC, where he's rebounding quite well. Pascal Siakam, another. Yeah, it's just tough. It's just a tough one to think of. So I'm probably not going to bet on any of the Pacers because they could just not rebound as well as they did and be like, what the fuck? How did this happen? They rebounded so well in the last game. How come he's not doing it now? I think if I had to, it'd probably be Pascal Siakam, though. Like, we've got a 3-game sample size of him absolutely murdering them on the glass. He's killed. He's gotten 10 rebounds in a 6-point loss, 9 rebounds in a 21-point blowout loss, and then 10 rebounds in that most recent game. So maybe Pascal Siakam, he's rebounded in many different game scripts against OKC. I think that makes a little bit of sense, but why take this many risks, you know? But that's just where my thoughts go. In terms of who's going to score some points, I think Nembhard could be a good look. He's going to see some opportunity. The volume should be there. Points and assists for Nemhard look nice. He had 12 potential assists in that last game. And this Pacers team sneaky good. Not to say that they're immune to getting blown out here in a bounce back spot, but yeah, the Pacers have been sneakily good. But yeah, I think I'm like 51% leaning towards a lot of these looks, but why take the risk, right? The other ones I feel a lot more confident about. So I'm probably just going to end up running those. I might build a same game parlay around some of these other looks to see, because I'm a degenerate sometimes, you know what it's like. But that's just where my thoughts go. Like, there's a lot of value. It looks like there's value on the Pacers side because a lot of these lines are really low, but I like to remind myself that they're low for a reason. So, but yeah, look, let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are. What are your Pacers props that you're playing and why? Like, I love to see reasons for bets. I don't just like people saying Pascal Siakam over 7.5 rebounds. Like, really take the time to explain it. All right. This is a community. We can help each other out. And the further you explain these things, the more likely it is someone's going to be able to understand where you're coming from. So share it down below in the comment section. What bets do you have on the NBA today? What are the reasons why you're taking it? Really put some input and effort into those. I think the community can really thrive that way. Let's help each other out. But that's a wrap on today's video, gang. I hope you found some value in it. Wish you the best of luck. Wish me some best of luck too. Like, I need it, that's for sure. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.